Okay, May 17th. 1 Samuel 21:15. Then David fled from Noath to Ramah and went and said to Jonathan, "What have I done? What is the iniquity then, and what is my sin before your father that he seeks my life?" So Jonathan said to him, "By no means you shall not die. Indeed, my father will do nothing, either great or small, without first telling me. And why should my father hide this thing from me? Is it not so?" So then David took an oath again and said, "Your father certainly knows that I have found favor in your eyes." And he has said, "Do not let Jonathan know this, lest he be grieved. But truly, as the Lord lives, and as your soul lives, there is but a step between me and death." So Jonathan said to David, "Whatever you desire, I will do it for you." And David said to Jonathan, Indeed, tomorrow it is new moon, and I should not fail to sit with the king to eat. But let me go, and I may hide in the field until the third day at evening. If your father misses me at all, then say, David earnestly asked permission of me that he might run over to Bethlehem, his city, and there is a yearly sacrifice there for all the family. If he says thus, "It is well, your servant will be safe." But if he is very angry, be sure that evil is determined by him. Therefore you shall deal kindly with your servant. But if you brought your servant into a covenant of the Lord with you, nevertheless, if there is iniquity in me, kill me yourself. For why should you bring me to your father? But Jonathan said, "Far be it from you. For if, for if I knew certainly that evil was determined by my father to come upon you, then would I not tell you?" Then David said to Jonathan, "Will tell me, or what if your father answers you roughly?" And Jonathan said to David, "Come, let us go out into the field." So both of them went out into the field. Then Jonathan said to David, "Lord God of Israel is with me. I have sounded out that my father sometime tomorrow, on the third day, and indeed there is good between toward David, and I do not send to you, tell you, may the Lord do so and as much more, Jonathan. But if it pleases my father to do you evil, then I will to you and send you away, and that you may go in safety. Lord be with you, as he has been with my father. And you shall not only show me the kindness of the Lord while I still live, that I may not die, you shall not cut off your kindness from my house forever. No, not not when the Lord has cut out off every one of the enemies of David from the face of the earth. But Jonathan made a covenant with the house of David, saying, "Let the Lord require it at the hand of David's enemies." Now Jonathan again caused David to vow because he loved him, for he loved him as he loved his own soul. Then Jonathan said to David, "Tomorrow, as the new moon, and you will be missed because your seat will be empty. And when you have stayed 3 days, go down quickly and come to the place where you hid on the day of the deed, and remain by the stone of Ezel. Then I will send, then I will shoot 3 arrows to the side as though I shot at a target. And there I will send a lad saying, Go find the arrows. If I expressly say to the lad, look, the arrows are on this side of you, get them and come, then you know the Lord lives, that safety is for you and no harm. If I say thus to the young man, Look, the arrows are beyond you, go your way, for the Lord has sent you away. As for the matter which you and I have spoken, indeed the Lord be between you and forever. Then David hid in the field, and when the new moon had come, the king sat down to eat the feast. Now the king sat at his seat as the other times, on the seat by the wall. And Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty. Nevertheless, Saul did not say anything that day, for he thought, something has happened to him. He is unclean. Surely he is. And it happened the next day, on the second day of the month, that David's place was empty. And Saul said to Jonathan his son, Why has the son of Jesse not come to eat either yesterday or today? And Jonathan answered Saul, David earnestly asked permission of me to go to Bethlehem. And he said, Please let me go, for our family has a sacrifice in the city, and my brother has commanded me to be there. And now if I found favor in your eyes, please let me go away and see my brothers. Therefore, he has not come to the king's table. Then Saul's anger arose against Jonathan, and he said to him, You son of a perverse and rebellious woman, do I not know that you have chosen the son of Jesse to your own shame and to the shame of your mother's nakedness? As long as the son of Jesse lives on earth, you shall not be established, nor your kingdom. Now therefore send and bring him to me, for he shall surely die. Jonathan answered Saul his father and said to him, Why should he be killed? What has he done? Then Saul cast his spear at him to kill him, by which Jonathan knew that it was determined by his father to kill David. So Jonathan arose from the table in fierce anger and ate no food the second day of the month, for he was grieved for David, because his father had treated him shamefully. And so it was in the morning that Jonathan went out to the field at the appointed time with David, and a little lad was with him. Then he said to his lad, Now run, find the arrows which I shoot. As the lad ran, he shot an arrow beyond him. When the lad had come to the place where the arrows was, which Jonathan had shot, Jonathan cried out after the lad and said, Is not the arrow beyond you? And Jonathan cried out after the lad, Make haste, hurry, do not delay. Jonathan's lad gathered up the arrows and came back to his master, and the lad did not know anything. Only Jonathan and David knew of the matter. Jonathan gave his weapon to the lad and said, Go carry them to the city. As soon as the lad had gone, David arose to the place from a place towards the south and fell on his face to the ground and bowed 3 times. And they kissed one another and they wept together. But David more so. Then Jonathan said to David, Go in peace, since we have both sworn in the name of the Lord, saying, May the Lord be between you and me, and between the descendants of my descendants forever, between your descendants and my descendants forever. So he arose and departed, and Jonathan went into the city. Now David came to Nob, to Acham, Achlesh the priest, and Achlesh was afraid when he met David, and said to him, Why are you alone and no one with you? And David said to Achlesh the priest, The king has ordered me on some business, and said to me, Do not let anyone know anything about the business which I send you, or what I have commanded you. And I have directed my young men to such and such a place. Now therefore, what have you on hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread in my hand, or whatever can be found. The priest answered David and said, There is no common bread on hand, but there is holy bread, if the young men have at least kept themselves from women. And David answered the priest and said to him, Truly, women have been kept from us about 3 days since I came out, and the vessels of the young men are holy, and the bread is in effect common, uh, even though it was consecrated in the vessel this day. So the priest gave him holy bread, for there was no bread there but the showbread, which had been taken from the Lord, and put hot bread in its place on the day when it was taken away. Now a certain man of the servants of Saul was there that day, detained before the Lord. His name was Doeg, and an Edomite, and the chief of the herdsmen which belonged to Saul. And David said to Amalek, Is there not on hand a spear or a sword? For I have brought neither my sword nor my weapons with me, because the king's business required haste. So the priest said, The sword of Goliath the Philistine, who killed in the valley of Elah, Elah, there it is, wrapped in cloth behind the ephod. And if you will take that, take that. There is no other except that one here. And David said, There is none like it, give it to me. Then David arose in the field and fled that day from before Saul, and went to Achish the king of Gath. And the servants of Achish said to him, Is this not David the king of the land? Did they not sing of him to one another in dances, saying, Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands? Now David took these words to heart, and very much afraid of Ash the king of Gath. So he changed his behavior before, pretended to in their pretended madness in their hands, scratched at the doors of the gate, and let his saliva fall down his beard. Then Ashes said to his servants, "Look, you see the man is insane. Why have you brought him to me? Have I have I need for a madman that you have brought this fellow to play the madman in my presence? Shall this fellow come into my house?" John 9:1. As Jesus passed by, he saw a man who was blind from birth, and his disciples asked him, saying, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he is born blind?" Jesus answered, "Neither this man nor his parents sinned, but that the works of God should be revealed in him. I must work the work. I must work the work of him who sent me while it is day. The night is coming. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world." When he had said these things, he spat on the ground, made clay with saliva, and he anointed the eyes of the blind clay. And he said to him, "Go wash in the pool of Siloam," which is transferred to sent. So he went and washed and came back seeing. Therefore, the neighbors of those who previously had seen that he was blind said, "Is this not the man who sat and begged?" Some of them said, "This is he." Others said, "He is like him." He said, "I am he." Therefore they said to him, "How were your eyes opened?" He answered and said, "A man called Jesus made clay and anointed my eyes and said to me, 'Go to the pool of Salem and wash.' So I went and washed and I received my sight." Then they said to him, "Where is he?" He said, "I do not know." They brought him to they brought him who was formerly blind to the Pharisees. Now it was a Sabbath when Jesus had made the clay and opened his eyes. Then the Pharisees also asked him again how he had received his sight. And he said to them, "He put clay in my eyes, I washed, and I see." Therefore some of the Pharisees said, "The man is not from God, because he does not keep the Sabbath." Others said, "How can a man who is a sinner do such signs?" And there was division among them. Then they said to the blind man again, What did do you say about him, because he opened your eyes?" He said, "He is a prophet." But the Jews did not believe concerning him, he that he had been blind and received sight, until they called the parents of him who had received his sight. Then they asked them, saying, "Is this your son who you say was born blind? How does he now see?" His parents answered them and said, "We do not we know this is our son, and that he was born blind. But by what means he now sees, we do not know, or open the eyes, and we do not know. He is of age, ask him. He will speak for himself." His parents said these things because they feared the Jews, for Jesus had agreed already that if anyone the Jews had already agreed that if anyone confesses that he is the Christ, he would be put out of the synagogue. Therefore his parents said, "He is of age, ask him." Wow. So this guy was born blind, had to sit by the street and beg. They call his parents, and his parents say, "Now we know he's born blind, but ask him. We don't want to be thrown in the synagogue." That was more important to them. Their son could see. But with that, people do strange things under stress and make mistakes. So even though that's in here, we don't know if they turned around and they actually became believers. We don't know. But during this time, when it first happened, he made mistakes. Just remember that, because we all do it. But until we take our last breath, we can all make changes. So they called again. So they again called the man who was blind and said to him, "Give God the glory. We know that this man is a sinner." And he answered and said, "Whether he is a sinner or not, I do not know. One thing I know, that though I was blind, now I see." Then they said to him again, What did he do to you? How did he open your eyes?" He answered, "I told you already, and you did not listen. Why do you want to hear it again? Do you also want to become his disciples?" Then they reviled him and said, "You are his disciples, because we are Moses' disciples. We know that God spoke to Moses. As for this fellow, we do not know where he is from." The man answered and said to them, Why is this a marvelous thing that you do not know where he is from? yet he has opened my eyes. Now we know that God does not hear sinners, but if anyone is a worshiper of God and does his will, he hears him. Since the world began, it has been unheard of that anyone has opened the eyes of one who was born blind. If this man were not from God, he could do nothing. And they answered and said to him, you were completely born in sin, and you are teaching us. And they cast him out. Jesus heard that they had cast him out, and when he had found him, he said to him, do you believe in the Son of God? He answered and said, who is he, Lord, that I may believe in him? And Jesus said to him, you have both seen, and it is he who is talking with you. And he said, Lord, I believe. And he worshiped him. And Jesus said, for judgment I have come into the world, that those who do not see may see, and that those who see may be made blind. And some of the Pharisees who were with him heard these words and said to him, are we blind also? Jesus said to them, if you were blind, have no sin. If you were blind, you would have no sin. But now you say, we see, therefore your sin remains. Psalms 11 3 1 through 11:8. Praise the Lord. Praise, O servants of the Lord. Praise the name of the Lord. Blessed be the name of the Lord from this time forth and forever. From the rising of the sun to its going down, the Lord's name is to be praised. The Lord is high above all nations, his glory above the heavens. Who is like the Lord our God, who dwells on high, who humbles himself to behold the things that are in the heavens and on the earth? He raises the poor out of the dust, and he lifts the needy out of the ash heap, that he may seat him with princes, with the princes of his people. He grants the barren woman a home, like a joyful mother of children. Praise the Lord. When Israel went out of Egypt, the house of Jacob from the people, strange language, Judah became his sanctuary, and Israel his domain. The sea saw it and fled. Jordan turned back. The mountains skipped like rams, the little hills like lambs. What ails you, O sea, that you fled? O Jordan, that you turned back? O mountains, that you skipped like rams? O little hills like lambs? Tremble, O earth, at the presence of the Lord, at the presence of the God of Jacob, who turned the rock into a pool, the flint into a fountain of waters. Proverbs 15 through 17. All the days of the afflicted are evil, but he who has a merry heart has a continual feast. Better is a little with the fear of the Lord than great treasure with tremble. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a fattened cat with hatred. All right. See y'all later.